and welcome to the SoCal Yearbook Gal Education Series designed to inspire, encourage, support, and make your life easier. This week we're talking about increasing the leadership of the students in your classroom. And I have 5 simple steps to help that happen in your class. First of all, you'll want to start by having a conversation with your students about the importance of meeting deadlines and producing a quality product, why they want to do that, why they want to represent their school and their community appropriately and well. And what that does is that builds intrinsic motivation. You're kind of building up your program and you're saying, this is such an important thing. Like being on the yearbook team is just such an honor, and how cool is it that you guys have this opportunity to do this? And we're gonna work together and we're gonna create this incredible program. And this is the only class where your homework is published and people buy it. Like, this is really, really cool. So you're gonna build that intrinsic motivation in your students in step 1. Step 2 is getting them to buy in. And you'll need to do that through setting reasonable goals. If you can get your kids involved in the decision-making process, yes, it's a student publication, but can they decide what you do with your cover and how you spend the extra money in your budget? Can they help you decide what deadlines to set? And so if you set reasonable goals together as a group and make a plan to achieve those goals together, that allows them to have more buy-in also. So maybe ask your students, you already know what your deadlines are, what they should be, pretty close to it. Can you ask your students, hey, I need this, and this done. When can you do that? And then they say, I can get that done by November 16th. Okay, perfect. So if I make the deadline November 16th, can you assure me that you're going to be able to meet that deadline? And then you get them to agree. And it's almost like you have a little contract. And they say yes, you say great, we're going to go ahead and submit this. And then they have buy-in because they helped you build the program. The third step is to encourage focused learning. So in my classroom, I used to designate certain students. I would give them jobs and I'd say, all right, you are my photo person, but more specifically, I need you to teach the entire class how to do a certain thing, like how to focus on lighting or how to use a certain manual mode. And once they've done their research, they've become a pro in their chosen topic, then they get to go and be the pro in front of the class and they get to teach that. And what that does is it not only solidifies mastery, because the best way to learn, and I think you know this, because I know as a teacher, this is how I was too, the best way to solidify your mastery and knowledge of a subject is to teach it, because you have to learn at a different level. You have to learn it, but then learn how to teach it, which is an additional level there. So it solidifies your mastery, it promotes leadership in your classroom, and it increases the confidence of the students who are presenting. And so if they can go up and they know that they know more about the subject than anybody else in the classroom, it really is a cool feeling for them, and it allows them to be the pro, and it helps build that relationship in the classroom too. The 4th step is to monitor your student interactions really carefully. Are your students showing respect to each other? Is it still a safe and loving environment? Sometimes you get to the point where, you're just working on pages, working on spreads and everything, everybody's moving and shaking, and then you realize that people aren't getting along and they're fighting, they're bickering, they're kind of picking at each other. So if you can monitor your student interactions frequently, you can help team build. You can help by also having conferences, one-on-one conferences with your students to make sure that they can kind of rebuild and heal if they've already broken down their relationships. I had a student, she was my editor-in-chief, and so I call it Emilie Levels because Emily was my editor-in-chief and she was fantastic at what she did. Just so talented, so amazing. She had what I call Emilie Levels, and when she's starting to get irritated, her hand would do this, and it would be down here. She'd be like, okay, I'm starting to get really frustrated with the fact that people aren't meeting their deadlines, and because this is, and then the more frustrated she'd get, the higher her hand would go. And finally you get to the point, like if her hand is up here, you know that she's about ready to walk out the door. She's like, I can't believe that I'm working so hard to do all this and nobody else is doing anything. And so I learned how to monitor my Emilie Levels. And so when she got to about right here, I'm like, hey, let's just have a little chat. Let's kind of figure this out. So when you get to know your students, get to know like the point where they're going to break, and then back it off a little bit and catch them right before they're about ready to walk. So, and then once you know that, once you feel that happening, de-escalate, get them, just have them breathe, or maybe have them go for a walk and have them just take a minute and relax, because yearbook is so incredible. And some kids care more than others do, but especially the kids who care a lot, they're the ones who will get more frustrated more quickly. So monitor those interactions. And then the last step, the fifth step, is to help them understand that they're in control of their outcome. So I love that equation, E plus R equals O. I've talked about it before. It's events plus response equals the outcome. So if you want this really incredible outcome, you're in control of your response to the events. So yes, your photographer was sick, he didn't show up to the game. That is your event, and that stinks, and I'm so sorry. Your response to that event is how you're going to get your outcome. You still want that spread. That spread needs to be incredible. What can you do as a response to make the outcome still positive? And maybe that is reaching out to your parents to see if anybody else took pictures at the game. Maybe it's taking pictures at practice instead of taking a picture at the game. There's a lot of different things that you can do for your response in order to still, maintain and support positive relationships in your classroom and get the outcome that you want. So that is kind of an overview on how to build and increase leadership in your classroom, and I hope things go really smoothly for you this year.